Now if you told me a couple of years ago that I'd enjoy a film starring Vince Vaughn, I probably would have spat at you. But here we go, Guy with the Camera Reviews, Delivery Man. So Vince Vaughn stars as David Wozniak, who's a bit of a loose end. He works as a delivery driver for his family's butcher shop, and basically when he was in his 20s, he used to contribute to a sperm bank regularly, and the sperm bank made a mistake and accidentally used his sperm for a lot of different women, and he finds out that he fathered 533 kids, and 146 of them are suing the sperm bank in order to find out the identity of the guy he called himself Starbuck, to kind of protect his identity. And his curiosity takes the better of him, and he starts visiting some of the kids he fathered to kind of find out how they turned out, what kind of stuff they're doing now. And it's a pretty decent film, you know. Say Vince Vaughn, to most people they'll say, oh god, him. But in this, he's not that bad, you know. He reins in a lot of the Vince Vaughnisms. He's not kind of over the top kind of acting, you know, like he's in most films. He's actually, dare I say it, quite likeable in this film, you know. In most roles, he's not the greatest character, you know. Like I said, he's just kind of doing his shtick all the time, which didn't work. But he really reined it in for this, and he gave an actual performance. You know, it's not just him. And the other side of the double act is Chris Pratt playing his friend and his lawyer. And I mean, Chris Pratt is good in anything, whether he's probably acting like in Zero Dark 30, or if Parks and Recreation, is brilliant in that. And again, he's brilliant at this. He's just so kind of effortlessly funny, you know. You just look at him and you start laughing, which I really like Chris Pratt. I'm a really big fan. And the film kind of manages to mar the comedy and the drama together, but sometimes it's more comedy than drama, sometimes it's more drama than comedy. I mean, it's quite chalk and cheese at some points, which is a kind of a fault of the movie. And it's a bit heavy-handed at times, you know, kind of sentimentality for the sake of sentimentality that didn't really work kind of compared to the comedy, really. There's quite a biggish plot hole in this film as well. Basically, there might be kind of mild spoilers, by the way. Basically, kind of halfway through the film, all the kids that you father kind of get together and they have this weekend where they play games and kind of have a barbecue and stuff. And one of the kids who's basically staying with Vince Vaughn's character is with him, and basically it's like and he stays with these kids, kind of playing with them and everything. And kind of later on in the film, they say they want to kind of find out who this guy is, and at not one point did they think that, right, there was one adult in all these kids that were kind of playing with us and stuff, and not one of them thought that it could be him. Nobody had any idea. Sometimes throughout the film, I couldn't tell whether some people knew or not. I mean, that's the kind of the real downside of the film is that really. I mean, sometimes it's kind of tonally inconsistent. But most of the time it does get it right, but that was quite a glaring plot hole, I thought. Also, Kobe Smulders, who's, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of her. I mean, that show she's in is a pile of crap, and I've not really been impressed with her or anything. She does a good job in this. I mean, she's just kind of there, really. She plays his kind of ex-girlfriend, who he finds out that she's pregnant. And again, I'm not even sure whether it's supposed to be his kid or not. I'm not quite sure. I'm also a big fan of John Bryan, who does the music in this film, and he did one of my favourite scores of 2012 with Paranorman. I'm a really big fan of his now. I love his music, and this film is no exception. It sometimes really kind of helps the scene a lot. The fact that, I mean, Chris Pratt is kind of the comedy guy in this film, and to make Vince Vaughn as the straight man in a kind of comedy drama is a feat of its own. I mean, like I say, I don't dislike him, but I don't particularly like him that much, really. But like I say, he did a good job in this movie. All in all, a really quite solid comedy drama. You know, sometimes it's too heavy-handed on the sentimentality. There's a gaping plot hole, which I explained earlier. But apart from that, really quite enjoyed this one, so I'm going to give Delivery Man a 7 out of 10. So thanks for taking the time out to watch this review. More reviews coming in the future, so until then, I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.